Hi everybody. Hello. I am Nori and I'm from the Brewster Ladies Library and I'm coming to you live from my kitchen table and I hope everybody is having a great day. We're going to do a really fun craft today. Normally at the beginning of my videos, I like to show you first what we're going to make and then give you a couple minutes to hopefully go grab the supplies that you're going to need. Today, I actually grabbed my idea from another library's craft video in Massachusetts, and she called it scribble art. So she had a lot of scribble art that she did, the librarian, but I grabbed a couple of them. So we've got options today. So the first one is this sort of scribble art owl monster. Or I think it's more of an owl. And then morning in the comments. And the other scribble art I have today is this, I'm going to zoom in a little, is this sort of bird's nest scribble art. This is actually a really great art project I'd never done before. I got the idea from a library in Massachusetts. The idea is it's really good for a little kid to do because who can't scribble art? Who can't do scribbles? And then we just add other pieces and shapes to it to make the scribble into something else. So that's what we're going to do today. I think we're going to start first with the monster / owl scribble art. So the pieces or the supplies that you're going to need for this one is a piece of paper. I used blue, but feel free just to use white. And crayons. And I'm going to grab some paper here. I'm going to take, I think I'm just going to do blue again because I like how it turned out. So blue paper, I'm going to grab a piece of blue paper. And where are my crayons hiding? They're behind the computer. Crayons. And you're going to want scissors and a glue stick and other different colored paper is better to do the different pieces, but if all you have at home is white computer paper, that works fine too. So I have a ton of different scrap paper because I've been doing lots of crafting while I've been home. So I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to grab a whole bunch of scrap paper. I've got a whole bunch of different colors here. And that's all you need is paper to do the scribbles on, glue, scissors, crayons, and scrap paper. And that's it. So I'm going to put that away. And hopefully everyone's gone and gotten their supplies. Not a lot needed for this first one, for the monster / owl. And all I'm going to ask you to do at home is take your crayons, pick out your favorite colors or whatever colors you feel like today. It's kind of gray and depressing outside, so I'm going to go with some happy, fun colors. I want like pinks and orange and yellows. I want happy summer fun colors. And maybe some green. We'll go from there. And the idea, where did my guy go here? To make him look sort of like this monster is you make your scribble art start in the center and then scribble outwards from the center. And I'm going to show you what I did. However, if you're a more freeform kind of artist, you are welcome to draw your owl, monster, whatever, however you'd like to. I'm just going to show you how I did them. And let's see, I did a little bit better there. Here we go. So I just started him in the center, or toward the center of my paper, and I go like this. And do lots of scribbles all across. I want to fill up a lot of the page with scribble lines. And again, I'm just using crayons. If you're someone who unfortunately doesn't have crayons at home, you can do this with whatever you have. You can do this with markers or pencils, with whatever you got, really. All right, so this is what I have so far. And then I'm just going to keep going and use different color crayons. This orange one doesn't really show up as much, but it's okay. It looks kind of cool. And really, who can't scribble? And again, it's just this one, you just sort of start in the center and scribble lines outward. I'm gonna go maybe with yellow. You know what it also kind of looks like that I didn't think about the first time I made this? Is it kind of looks like a giant firework. I'm going to put this up a little more. Okay. So this is what I have so far, but I feel like it's missing something. I'm going to add maybe one or two more colors. Got it. Okay. I'm going to add, oh, what's it missing? Maybe a little purple. Scribbling is so much fun, right? And again, it doesn't have to be this this much direction. If you're just scribbling your own kind of scribble, that is totally fine. We can add shapes to any kind of scribble art and turn it into any kind of monster or owl at home. All right. I'm going to put these crayons away. I keep singing what I'm doing. I'm in a singing kind of mood today. All right, I'm going to put this up. Hello. So hopefully you guys at home have your first piece of scribble art. If your kiddos aren't at that age yet where they're good at cutting shapes, that's the next part of the craft. The cool thing about this craft is you can just give them another piece of paper to keep scribbling on. But this is what I have so far. This is the first scribble part. I'm going to put this down for right now. The next part of the scribble craft is we're going to end up cutting these different shapes to add like a face and different elements to our monster / owl or whatever we really want our scribbles to be. So I'm going to put him down again, and I'm going to go grab my handy, I'm just dropping everything today. Okay. One of those days. I'm going to grab my handy dandy scrap paper. Right. Clearly I need a larger kitchen table to do all these crafts. Okay. That one's for later. All right. I was doing a lot with scrap paper before, so I'm just going to keep using the colors I already picked. So my trick that I've done in other videos is I like to take a piece of paper and then fold it in half. So that way you get two of something when you cut it. And I'm going to grab a pencil. And I'm going to draw a couple of ears for my owl / monster. But again, if you don't want to make ears for your monster, you don't have to. I just kind of like what they did for mine. So I'm going to make ears that are in the shapes of triangles. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 triangles. Or I guess just one triangle, because when you fold a piece of paper in half and cut it, it's going to make 2. I don't know if you can see it because I did it in pencil. And I am going to cut out my triangles. Like that. Oops. So I have 2, 2 triangles. And these are going to be the ears for my monster. And what I'm going to do next is glue them down. So I'm going to take the side of my ears that still have pencil marks, and that's going to be the side I glue on. So you don't see the pencil marks. All right, use my glue stick. And I'm going to glue this sort of at the top. Oh, yeah, I can show you this part too. And then I'm going to take my other one. And glue. And my monster or owl has 2 ears. And there you go. And then we're going to make his eyes. And for his eyes, I just did 2 white circles and then black circles. And again, to do 2, I just folded a piece of paper in half. And then I drew 1 circle. And I feel like owls and monsters both have really big eyes. So I'm going to make them kind of big. But I'll put this down so you can see it again. And we're going to do sort of that size of a circle. And cut circles out. Okay, so then I have 2, there 2 white circles. And I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to erase some of those pencil lines so they don't shine through. I like pencils for that reason. Okay. And then I'm going to glue my white circles to my monster. This one needs a little more glue. then your monster looks kind of like this. And I like having little black or big black pupils in the eyes. So you see, this was what my first guy looked like. So I'm going to cut little or smaller black circles to put in the eye. And if you don't have black paper at home, you could just do it again white paper and color it black. What I'm going to do here, my trick is I'm going to use that paper I used already, and I'm going to put it on top of my black paper. And I'm going to draw a circle within it. I think like this. I don't know if you can see it here. So I know that the circle will fit inside the circle. That makes sense. I think I want it to be kind of big. So I drew my circle within my white circle. And then I'm going to cut my black circle out. And again, if you have a kid who's not quite at the cutting shapes out of paper stage yet, they can keep scribbling more monsters or making more scribble art. And you could add shapes to that art later. There we go. And then we have, let's see, here, turn that up a bit. We have two black guys. Move you guys here. And I'm going to end up gluing them onto the eyes of my monster. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Glue sticks. Alright, now our monster or owl. I'm not sure which one he looks more like, an owl or a monster. Has ears and he has eyes, but he's missing. What's he missing? He's missing a nose and maybe some feet. So I'm gonna give him a nose and some feet. So a nose, I'm gonna go to orange paper to give him sort of a beak. So for me, a beak is sort of like a triangle. You don't need to fold. My face isn't showing. You don't need to fold it in half for a triangle, but I am, because you only need one nose, you don't need two. But I am, because I'm going to use maybe a beak for something else later. Anyway, so I'm just going to draw a triangle on orange paper. Put that down. Draw triangle. I'm going to cut that out. Trick will be that I don't lose my other triangle. Put it over on the side. Okay. Put my monster back. And then I'm going to glue my nose beak on here. And then he has a nose. Now I'm going to give him feet. All right, so feet for him. I kind of gave him what sort of looks like penguin feet or bird feet. So I'm going to take this orange paper again. I'm running out of space, so I'm going to use the bottom. And I'm going to draw. So for feet, he's going to need 2. So again, 2 things. You're going to want a folded piece of paper. And I'm going to keep going with orange for bird-like feet. And I'm going to draw sort of like no, that's not what I want. Like a 3. Like a 3. I don't want to say toes. They don't really have toes, but it's there's like 3 little lines on my feet there. But you can make your feet however you want to. You can even give them like a leg. That's what I'm gonna do, I think. Or maybe a leg would be fun too. Maybe I changed my mind. I talked myself into it. Maybe if I do. Maybe something more like this kind. I don't know. It's a little cartoony. And then I'm gonna cut it out. My masterful cutting skills here. And let's see. And I have 2 sort of looking bird feet. And then I'm going to glue these on the, let me turn it around, on the bottom. So it'll end up looking like that. Of my owl monster scribble art here. Get this guy. All right. So, and this is sort of a 2-parter video. We're going to do 2 different scribble arts. So this is the first one. Scribble art number 1. So little did you know, you could turn yours or your kids' scribbles into a monster or an owl or whatever. You can cut out any shapes really, or eyes, and make anything into a monster really. Anyway, so this is scribble art. We're gonna make one more, and it's quick. And I took this idea from another Massachusetts library. We're gonna use mostly the same supplies, so you don't have to grab anything else. Though, oh, thank you. I think it's cute too. Though I did for the second one. Where did I put you? For the second one, I did use a couple more things. It was a bird's nest. We turned scribbles into a nest. It was sort of scribbles in a circle, and I added a bird. And the librarian said throw things into the nest that could give it texture. And I think she actually had things left over from Easter, like that you would put in an Easter basket. So if you actually celebrated Easter not too long ago and have, I don't know what that's called, but that stuff that you put in an Easter basket, that would look really good in a bird's nest too. I didn't have that, but I sew and I do stuff with string. So I had had a bunch of string, so I used that in my bird's nest. I also had a feather. But anyway, I'm going to get to this one next. And you don't need that. I just thought that added texture was kind of cool. But we're going to do that one too. And I'm going to move that and my monster aside. And for the next one, it's again, we're going to start with some scribbling, which who can't do that? So first thing with that is I actually cut out a circle to scribble on first. I did it in brown, but I don't know if you noticed, but like you couldn't really see the scribbles very well. I'm going to zoom in a little. So I think with the next one, I might actually cut it out on white paper first and then maybe glue it to the brown or even just do it on white paper. Why not? So I'm going to draw a circle on white paper and then cut it out, and that's what I'm going to scribble on. We put that down here. I'm getting used to the camera angle, so bear with me. I'm not going to fold this one in half because you want a lot of room to scribble on. I want it to fit in here. If I can do it like that. That's going to work. So sort of draw, you know, like my circle, oval, whatever, isn't perfect. And that's okay. Like, sort of, I just used a pencil. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to get sloppy like a bird's nest anyway. But I drew a circle, and then I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to grab my scissors, and then just cut out my circle. And this is what the kids are, or what you are going to scribble on. So probably the larger your circle, the better. So there's lots of room to do the scribbling. Okay, that's pretty good. Move the scrap paper. I'm running out of room. That'll do. And I'd already cut out a brown circle because I was going to do it on brown again, but I feel like the crayons didn't show up so well. So I'm going to just glue the white to a brown circle, but you don't really need that. So you can just go ahead and start scribbling on the white circle if you want. And if you go ahead and do that, the idea is to scribble in like the motion I'm doing the glue stick in a circle or in lots of circles, like the direction the things of a nest would go in. But obviously you can scribble however you want to. Or if your kid was scribbling while you were cutting before, you could take something they were already scribbling on and just cut it in the shape of a circle. And that could be your nest. But this is what I'm going to do. Thinking on my feet a little bit here. All right, I'm going to take this white oval shape and press it down. Or if you want to do white on a brown, you can go for it too. It was kind of a random last minute decision on my part. And I think I'm actually going to trim it. So it looks a little, like the sizing is a little off. inner my inner librarian likes things a little more not perfect, but a little more trimmed. Okay. There we go. That's what my nest is going to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and scribble. And I think I'm going to pick some sort of neutral colors for my bird's nest. So you can go ahead and use whatever crayon colors you want for your nest. I'm going to go with some like sort of neutrally brown. Ooh, that one's kind of sparkly. You know, I like sparkles. I always like reading what the colors of the crayons are. Anyway, I'm going to see what that looks like. So I'm going to do some scribbles of my own. I can move the camera a little. Yeah, scribbling is fun. And do sort of my scribbles in circles here for my nest. Let's get more. This is fun because like so much of my crafts are about being concise and going sort of within the line. So this is fun because it's kind of an excuse to just do whatever you want. Be as messy as you want with your scribbles. I'm gonna keep going a little. I need a little more. Let's see, what else can I put in there? Maybe a little green. Sometimes there's a little grass in a bird's nest, maybe. Just a little. Some like earthy colors. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with that for now. That was fun. So anyway, this is my color. Add some more. Someone's saying they love this. Thanks, you guys. I'm glad you could watch. I'm going to put this up. Hi again. So anyway, this is my bird's nest at the moment. That's fun. And then the next thing I did was I drew a bird on another colored piece of paper to glue onto my bird's nest. And let me see. And you can really use whatever color paper you want. I used red on my first one, but I seem to have misplaced my red paper. So I think my next one, I had blue paper that I just used. So I'm just gonna maybe I'll do a blue bird. And again, I'm kind of just free drawing my bird. Oh, I have a leftover bird. I have a leftover red bird. But I like the idea of making a blue one, so maybe I'll just trace him. Poor red bird. Anyway, I'm going to fold this. That's probably why I have a leftover one. I tend to make twos of everything. But anyway, I'm going to fold it so maybe you could see an example of like how I drew him. I folded my paper, and this is, this isn't an accurate example of a bird. This is just drawing from an idea in my brain. But you can make your bird look however you want to. It's kind of more of like a cartoony, almost clip arty idea of a bird. But if you happen to be a much better artist or more accurate, or want to actually look at a photograph of a bird before you do this, go for it. I'm just gonna use a pencil go for the same kind of shape as my red bird. Okay. And again, I don't know if you can see it. That's my odd trace. I just traced the one I made before. And again, I just made this freehand. But again, if you want to get more accurate, you know, go for it or be as creative as you want. The idea was I wanted one that I thought would just fit. Actually, he might be a little large now in my nest, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and cut my bluebird now out of the paper. And let's see. And I guess the idea of this is just that you can make scribble art into more. Not that scribbles in itself can't be beautiful, because they are in their own way. Scribbles are beautiful. It just you can just turn them into something else sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, I'm cutting out my bluebird. You can also cut out a white bird and color it blue or red or whatever you want. Or just draw one directly onto your scribble. But I like the idea of giving it some kind of layering. And giving it a little bit of texture. Cutting out the bird feet is the hardest part here. Oh, you can't see me. I'm trying to get this on camera here. Okay. I'm so busy gabbing, I don't even realize I'm not on the camera all the time. There we go. Move my scrap paper. And now I've got two birds. You can put two on the nest if I wanted. And here's my nest. Let's see if he's too big. No, he looks okay there. You can decide like how you want to place your bird on your nest. I put my last one I sort of put so he's partially on it, partially above it. You could put him in the middle. You could put him on the side. It's really up to you. I think I kind of like him toward the top. So I have more room here to play with other things of other textures. So I'm going to glue him now. Because I'm going to glue him at the top, I don't want glue up here so my table doesn't get all sticky. So I'm actually going to mark him there so I know where to stop the glue. See what I did? Okay. Yeah. Little did I know these purple glue sticks are the best because they show up on the camera. It's like I almost planned it. Okay, so I glued him partially. And then I'm gonna stick my bird up to there on my nest. So he doesn't stick to my table. If you want to go even more in depth here, you could give him orange feet and an orange beak. But I'm gonna just make him all blue, my bird. Press him down. And I think what I might do though is use my crayons to to give him an eye, make him stand out a little more. I've got my crayons out, so why not? I'm just gonna take a purple crayon here and give him an eye and a beak. Like that. And maybe give him his feet. And his wings. So it gives them a little more definition. But you don't have to do that. He kind of reminds me of the Twitter bird a little. I'm gonna put him down. Hold it down with my scissors. Okay. And you can end your bird's nest there if you want, but if you have string or confetti or anything at home with texture, it might be a fun idea to add to your bird's nest. The person whose video I watched first who did this, was a librarian from Massachusetts. She gave me this idea. She recommended string, and I happen to have a lot of strings. I sew, and I've made bracelets and stuff. And I was like, yes, that would be great. And the first time I did it, it came out kind of cool. So it gives the bird's nest this really cool texture. So I have this really cool brown colored string that like I never want to use anyway, because who loves the color brown for string, for bracelets and stuff? So like perfect for a bird's nest. I'm just gonna take a bunch and cut this. Where does the beginning of the string go? Cut it. Right. And maybe I'll make it a little smaller. So I have like this a bit amount. I'm going to use my glue stick. There you go. And I'm going to put a whole bunch of glue, like in a section, right there. And this is going to get your fingers my fingers a little messy. And I'm just going to press it down. Like that. You see? And then I'm going to do that again. Put some over here. Here. Right, and my fingers are all gross. But that's okay. More excuses to wash my hands, just what we need. And then I'm going to cut some more string. And more glue on here. Okay. We got a little more. And again, if you don't have this string or confetti or Easter basket leftovers at home, don't sweat it. It doesn't need this element. I just think it's a fun thing to do if you have it. It gives it this like little extra element of texture. And when it does dry, it feels really cool, and it gives almost a sensory play element for your kid later. It feels really, it almost hardens. So if you have a little one, it's definitely going to be a fun thing for them to grab and touch and play with later. Just adding little pieces here and there. I'm losing control of my string. Ah, my fingers are so gross. Okay. I think I'm just going to use up the rest of this string so I don't have little pieces all over my kitchen. I use the rest of it on my other nest. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's cool. Cool. All right, close that. And I got my bird's nest. I'm gonna hold that up. And this is what it looks like. Mine won't have purple later. Like the glue stick dries clear. You can tell. There you go. And that's my Scribble Craft bird's nest. And this was the Scribble Art monster, owl monster. It's kind of a birdie themed art project today. Anyway, that was our Crafty Facebook Live Crafty Corner Friday today. I hope you came up with some cool scribble art. If you ever want to share, feel free to post in the comments. I'd love to see what you created. Thanks for watching today. I hope everyone has a good weekend. I know it's rainy and kind of icky outside, but I know tomorrow it's supposed to be really beautiful and sunny. Anyway, I hope you're all well. I'm going to keep posting story hours Wednesday at 10:30 and Crafty Corner videos every Friday at 10:30 live from my kitchen as long as the Brewster Ladies Library is closed. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, you guys.